Why is this generation so divided?
I think, man, honestly, it's probably a million answers to that question. But I think the big thing is selfishness. I think that everybody is looking for a way to win, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with people wanting to be able to pay their bills, feed their kids, buy their toys, and things of that nature. But I think that people are so willing to compete with each other that it causes that kind of division. You know, where one person is always worried about another person, and that's where a lot of jealousy come in, and people get to robbing other people and all that because it's a competition thing, man. Mentally, I think we have to just try to figure out how to change our minds to understand that we all have a purpose to live. And when you find your own purpose, you start building and investing into that, and you realize that you're so much different than everybody else, and there's something great for you when what's great for you may not be great for somebody else. They have something else that they're going to be great in. You know what I mean? But we so worried about what somebody else got and envying that, you know, and it creates selfishness because we're saying, well, why don't I have this? Why don't I have that? I mean, you even have parents showing up to football games. I've seen it firsthand, basketball games, and you got 5 and 6 year old kids, you know, competing with sports. It's supposed to be all fun and preparing them for the next level, but I mean, they're betting on these kids. You know, I just think that it's all about you. You know, the parents are trying to get, and this just talking about the parents, just narrowing it down to that right now. You have parents who are actually making it all about them as opposed to kids. And to be honest, a lot of these parents aren't even spending time preparing these kids for these athletics. They're just throwing them out there just to say my child is there. And now you got Facebook and all these other social media sites. Um, it's crazy, man. It's crazy, and I think that's the biggest thing. You know, people are divided because people are so worried about what somebody else has, and they can't get that out of their mind, and it causes hatred.
Okay.
Another thing to me, just and this pretty much just adds into more of why people are so divided today, and it being selfishness. You know, there's too much ignorant opinion. You know, don't get me wrong, you can learn something from a lot of people, but we know that hands-on experience is the best knowledge for anything. You know, you learn from your mistakes and you improve from there. Now, when you got people telling you how to do something you've been doing for 20 years and they've never even done it, I think that that's an issue. But like, take me for example. I'm so focused on, you know, my books, my writing, my movies, my businesses, and continuing to build a brand within myself and around my family so that my kids can have something to own or look forward to in their futures, that I don't have time to be concerned about what somebody else is doing unless I can either bring value to them or they can bring value to me, for us all to grow and prosper together. You see what I'm saying? And I just truly believe that um, we just had so much hatred in our hearts, man. Whether it's been divided by race, people falling out in business because they just have hustlers mindsets as opposed to building together, or even simple as even in the church, people being non-believers and people being believers, people of the world is you don't have to hate each other because you have a difference of opinion. You know, so I just feel like there's a lot of hatred based off of being concerned too much with what somebody else is doing or what they think, and then giving your opinion based off of something that a lot of times people can't even prove, if that makes sense.
Okay. Okay. What is your suggestion to your friends, your peers?
Same thing I was just saying, pretty much. You know, I feel like to my peers, you know, it's a wicked generation. You know, I know that a lot of people are getting in very heated debates. I see it in my Facebook groups, social media sites. It's crazy when you start talking about homosexuality. You know, people get very offended. Um, you know, when you start talking about the selfishness, the hatred, the division, just with all that, my suggestion to any of my peers would be try your hardest to figure out what it is that you want to live for the rest of your life. What type of example do you want to leave for your children or to your nephews and nieces, your nephews and nieces, your grandkids, whoever, so that they know that they can be somebody that means something. You know what I mean? Not somebody who just sit around and just run off at the mouth about things you don't have a lot of knowledge on. If you have a small business or if you have a job that you really love, invest into yourself. Try to get promoted to the highest level and see how influential you can be to inspire the next man or the next woman. And that's what life is all about. And that will bring people back together. That love and, gentleness, purpose, understanding why you live. To me, that's what it's all about. Being able to be a people builder. Letting people look at you and see somebody who has started at point A and, found your way through the alphabet, doing it the right way and not stepping on people's toes.